Imagine standing in the Nazca Desert. You see nothing, just rocks, sand, silence. You look up, and there, spread across the hillside, is a hummingbird, 300 feet long. Giant hummingbirds, spiders, monkeys, stretching hundreds of feet across the desert floor. So massive that you cannot even see their full shape from the ground. For a century, we built theories around them. Maria Reich claimed an astronomical calendar. Others said alien runways or ritual paths for the gods. But we all made the same mistake. We assumed they were made for the sky. We assumed the Nazca people were obsessed with the heavens. But assumptions are dangerous. They become invisible walls. Then, in 2024, a machine arrived. It scanned 200,000 satellite images. In 6 months, it found 303 new geoglyphs, nearly 3/4 of everything we had discovered in 100 years. And here is the part that shattered everything. Those new geoglyphs, they weren't pointing to the sky. They were pointing to the ground. In 2019, a Japanese team from Yamagata University and IBM gave an artificial intelligence a task: scan 200,000 high-resolution satellite images of the Nazca Desert. The researchers expected a handful of false positives, maybe a few interesting shapes, nothing that would change the textbooks. They were wrong. In 6 months, the AI flagged 303 new geoglyphs. To understand why this number is so staggering, you have to imagine the scale. It took human archaeologists 100 years to find 430. The AI found 303 in half a year. That is like spending a century building a library of 1,000 books, and then a machine reads through your archive and tells you there are 700 more books buried under the floor. The researchers didn't care about the AI's complex algorithms yet. They cared about the coordinates. They packed their equipment, flew to Peru, and walked into the desert to verify the findings. They expected a routine field season, a few photographs, and a quiet paper for the archives. Instead, they found themselves at the center of a moment of reckoning. Every time they followed the AI's map, they found a new drawing, and then another, dozens that the algorithm had missed. The final count was 303 confirmed new geoglyphs. But the real discovery happened later, when the team sat down to catalog them, because these new drawings didn't look like the old ones. They weren't giant animals on remote hillsides. They were small, hidden along ancient footpaths, and they showed something the researchers had never seen before. That was the moment the archaeologists realized. The AI hadn't solved the mystery. It had changed the question. Step into the mind of the lead archaeologist for a moment. You have spent years studying the Nazca Lines. You know the classics: the condor, the monkey, the spider. You have written papers, delivered lectures, defended theories. And then your computer shows you 303 locations you have never considered. You fly to Peru. You walk to the first coordinate. You expect an anomaly, a group of stones that the AI mistook for a drawing. Instead, you find a human figure carved into the earth. Clear, deliberate, complete. You walk to the next coordinate, another human figure, and another. Soon, you realize the AI didn't just find 303 drawings. It found a completely different Nazca. The old Nazca, the one we studied for a century, was the public version. The giant hummingbirds, the soaring condors, the creeping spiders. They were for the community, the ceremonies, the ancestors. The new Nazca is intimate, personal, for the traveler walking alone through the desert, not the priest performing a ritual on the hilltop. And as the team cataloged these new drawings, something else became clear. These figures didn't just represent different subjects. They represented different moments in daily life. They were not symbolic. They were documentary. This was not just a ceremonial landscape. It was a living one. And the place they were all pointing to, the destination that connected these human figures, would force us to rewrite everything. I need you to picture something. The classic Nazca Lines. a condor with a wingspan of 300 feet, a spider that covers an entire football field, a monkey with a tail that spirals for miles. They are massive, geometric, designed to be seen from the sky. They are monuments to grandeur and the divine. Now, picture the new ones. The AI found figures averaging 9 meters in length, the size of a small truck. They are not linear like the classics. They are relief type, made by adding stones, not removing them. They sit slightly above the sand, like a stamp pressed into the earth. From a plane, invisible. From the ground, subtle, gentle. The researchers expected more animals. Almost every old figure was an animal, a condor, a monkey, a spider, a tree. But when they started analyzing the new ones, pattern broke. Almost every new figure was a person. Over 80% of the 303 newly discovered geoglyphs depict human figures. Stick-like warriors, people walking with their arms extended. Llamas, domesticated animals that the Nazca people actually lived with. And some showed even more startling imagery. Severed heads, a powerful symbol in Andean culture. Imagine spending 100 years searching a desert for drawings of wild animals, only to discover that the vast majority of the drawings you missed were of your own ancestors, ordinary people going about their daily lives. The AI did not just find new pictures. It found a Nazca that was not looking up at the gods. It was looking at the ground, at the people walking across it. And if these human figures are pointing to the ground, if they line the ancient footpaths, then where were those paths leading? The researchers mapped every single one of the 303 new geoglyphs with GPS precision. One pattern emerged with undeniable clarity. Almost every new geoglyph sat directly alongside an ancient pathway, a pre-Inca road system worn into the desert over centuries. Ancient arteries connecting distant settlements, water sources, and trade routes. The new geoglyphs, the researchers realized, were not random. They were signposts, markers of territory, messages to travelers. This is our land. This is a safe path. The archaeologists expected these paths to lead to grand temples. They expected ceremonial platforms. They expected sacred places at the end of every journey. They found villages, not temples, not ceremonial centers, ordinary farming communities, trading posts, places where families raised llamas, grew crops, and lived out their daily routines under the harsh desert sun. The Nazca people were not just building monuments to please the gods. They were building a landscape, a functional, lived-in environment where art served practical purposes. The giant condors were the cathedrals, but the small human figures were the villages, the roads, the boundaries, the daily life. This is not just an archaeological update. This is a fundamental shift in how we see them. And this insight, this sudden realization that we had been looking in the wrong direction for 100 years, leads directly to the final piece of the puzzle. For a century, we asked one question: what are the Nazca Lines? We answered with calendars, runways, and astrological maps. We were asking the wrong question. The evidence from the Yamagata University study, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, suggests the Nazca Lines may have functioned as a dual communication system, operating on two levels simultaneously. On one level, the giant linear geoglyphs served the community and the ancestors. They were public art, visible from hillsides. They honored the wild, untamed forces of nature. They were expressions of spiritual life. On another level, the new, small, human-scale relief-type geoglyphs served the individual traveler. They were markers, guideposts, and territorial boundaries. They told the story of daily life, of journeys, of encounters between people. They were the quiet, intimate voice of a civilization that was deeply connected to the earth beneath their feet. This interpretation is still evolving. New data may refine it further, which makes this one of the most exciting moments in Andean archaeology. The Nazca Lines have not lost their mystery. They have become even more mysterious. But now, the mystery is grounded in humanity, not in the heavens. And the discovery of this dual system was not the work of a lone genius in an ivory tower. It was the work of a machine that looked down at the desert and saw, with cold, pixel-perfect precision, what 100 years of human eyes had missed. AI didn't discover 303 drawings. It discovered 100 years of human blindness. For a century, we asked the sky. The AI asked the ground. Now, the question is yours. What do you think was the most shocking revelation? The sheer number of new drawings, the sudden appearance of human faces, or the fact that we missed them entirely for a whole century? Let me know in the comments. Because that is the real question. Not what the lines are, but what else is hidden in plain sight, waiting for a machine to finally see it.